Well, hello everyone. My name is Vitaly Novik, and I'm the founder of BigEconomics.org, and I'm excited to walk through some of our new data products that we're just releasing. The first data product is called the College Majors Explorer, and as the name suggests, it is just an overview of different college majors, providing critical statistics, um, just to give an easy way to compare different majors. Students can sort by lifetime income, by demographics, by occupational concentration, by fields such as STEM, social sciences, health, education, and so on, and also by major, right? And a lot of these fields are interactable. Students can sort and so on and expand the number of entries that they see. So for example, let's take a student who's thinking of majoring in psychology. So here we go. Here we see a psychology major, and they want to go in and see the details on this major. So they would click there on that link, and they would go to a major details page, which is going to give them the income profile of that major provides. For example, in the dotted red is what that income profile is for just a bachelor's degree over the career. And in black is the income profile for all college majors that have a bachelor's degree only. And in green, we see the benefit that people in this major get from getting a graduate degree and above. And here in this case, it looks like for the students that get at least a graduate degree with a psychology major, they're earning more than the typical undergraduate student. So that's a helpful chart to compare incomes. There's also separate summary information for this major compared to all majors right here, such as how typical it is to get a master's degree or a PhD, right, and so on. And also things like early career unemployment rate. The occupations data is one of the more interesting things to me. So here we break down the top 10 early career occupations for people who have a bachelor's degree only, the mid-career occupations, and also the mid-career occupations for people who get a graduate degree. So for example, let's say our student is thinking about becoming a counselor. Well, when she looks at these early career outcomes, she's going to see that becoming a counselor is actually quite a rare outcome. Just 3% of students are attaining that outcome in early career. So if she wants more details on what it takes to become a counselor, she can just click on this occupation. And that'll take her to our Occupations Explorer. So we have a detailed information for every occupation as well. And all of our data is coming from nationally representative data. So this is going to be representative of the nation's outcomes. So it's quite helpful data. So for um, counselors, we have their income over their career, income by age, right, which is nice. And then we see that the most common industries that counselors work in and how much they earn in these different industries, right? And this might, help a student know how to tailor their coursework if they want to target a certain industry or so on. If they see one that's more financially lucrative than others, for example, here it looks like elementary and secondary schools tend to earn quite a bit, and these are actually quite common places counselors go, right? 67,000. We also have the education distribution for this occupation. So if the student was looking at this page, she would see that actually, stopping with working in this occupation with just a bachelor's degree is actually quite rare. Just 21% of people are doing that. Actually, it looks like I'm going to need to get a master's degree, right? So having that information up front would be quite easy, to get using these tools because right away you could drill down to the occupation you're hoping to get with the major you're choosing, and then seeing, oh, actually, I'm gonna have to go get a master's degree. And I think that's just so helpful for students to align their expectations and plan out their career paths and their finances as they think about the occupation they're pursuing. And we also break down the most common majors for people that work in this occupation. And what we can see here is that psychology is indeed a very popular major, right? Um, as we saw before. And again, these majors are all cross-linked as well. And so the student was on track thinking psychology is a good major. It just looks like she's going to have to get a master's degree and above. And if we go back to the psychology major details, let's take a look at the top mid-career occupations of people who have a master's degree or higher. And we see that, being a counselor is indeed a very common outcome. 9% of of these people who have at least a master's degree with an undergrad major in psychology work as counselors, about 9%. So this data takes away a lot of the mystery of what you can do with a major and how to go about uh, to uh, getting to where you need to go, right? And we can also see here for each major at the top early career industries, right? So we have this kind of data for every single major. I think it's extremely helpful data if you think about the kind of data that I had access to when I was a student. Um, it just would say kind of vague things like you can become a counselor if you major in psychology, but wouldn't really tell you, um, right, attached numbers to those things. So I couldn't really put much confidence in some of those outcomes. So I think the fact that we're using nationally representative data to generate these outcomes and statistics should give students quite a bit of confidence and certainty in the kind of direction they're going to go as they make their different educational choices. So in addition to the College Majors Explorer, which I showed you earlier, the other tool we're offering is an Occupations Explorer, right? And this is just simply uh, a table for each occupation, right? We have over 460 occupations. So for each occupation, we have the early career income and then the share that have a 4-year degree. So they have a sense of how much higher education training is required here. And so students can directly browse different occupations here. Let's say dentist, right? Let's say someone's thinking of becoming a dentist, so they can just browse that and look at the early career income of that occupation, and then clearly this one requires a 4-year degree. Everyone has a 4-year degree in that one. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this overview of the College Majors Explorer and the Occupations Explorer. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Give us an email. Thank you.